Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to you about the Apple Watch Ultra and give you some of my initial first thoughts on wearing this watch now for about 5 or 6 weeks. So I'm going to cover off just some of the topics that I think are important. I use this watch generally as just a watch. I know there's a lot of additional features that come with it, but I'm not an adventurer, so I'm just going to give my view on how I use this watch and why I think it's a really good product. So the first thing I want to cover off is the size. So there's no getting away from the fact that this is a big watch. It's 49mm, so it's a fair bit bigger than the Series 7 that I was rocking previously. I did tend to go for the larger sizes of Apple watches anyway, so I was quite comfortable going up in size personally because I like the look of a big watch. I like the big watch face. I don't think it looks particularly stupid on my wrist. I think it actually looks quite nice. I know quite a few people have said that it can make your wrist look a little bit ridiculous. I personally, I don't think so. I mean, I like it, and coming from somebody who has a small wrist, I'd quite happily wear it and not think that it looks out of place. So, one of the main reasons for going for the larger face was the display. So the display on this is really nice. So it's sapphire crystal, I think is what it is. It's a really nice bright display, so it goes up to 2000 nits, so you're not going to have any issues seeing this in the sun outside. And it really gives a really crisp look to the display. So everything looks just crystal clear when I look at this, and not that it wasn't on the previous versions, but I think the clarity on this has taken a step up, and I really like that. The other thing about having a larger display is that you can use it more, in my opinion. So I didn't previously use the watch for replying to messages, but I've actually started doing it because the touch screen typing is a lot better. You can actually do it without making too many errors. You've also got Siri that you can use if you really want to go down the voice dictation. I've used it a couple of times, it's not too bad. But even checking emails and things like that on the watch, because it's so much bigger than the previous version, you've got that more screen real estate, shall we say. You're not going to have any troubles seeing things, so it makes it a much more usable wearable, in my opinion. The second thing to touch on here is battery life. So this was probably the biggest thing for me when it came to purchasing this watch. I didn't particularly have a problem with charging my Series 7 every day. I charge it overnight. I wasn't using the sleep tracking all that much. So I would put it on while I was asleep, and then it would see me through the day. But with the Ultra, I'm easily getting about 2 days out of this, and that is with using sleep tracking. It's also doing workouts. Granted, they're not very intensive workouts at the moment, but even so, I'm getting a day and a half, 2 days most of the time with this particular watch. So for me, although it's only an extra day, it's an extra day that you don't have to think about charging something. So for me, the battery life has been really good. Now granted, there's other watches out there where you'll get substantially more battery life. So I think even the Samsung 5 Pro goes up to 3 days, maybe a little bit more, but your likes of your Garmin's are obviously going to have a lot more. But for me, I'm quite happy with the 2-day battery life, and the reason that I say that is because the way I use the watch, I like the fact that you get the best of the smartwatch experience in terms of notifications, being able to respond to messages, take calls, check your emails, all of those kind of things, but you also get really good fitness tracking as well. So for me, I'm going to compromise on a bit more battery life by having what I think is the best experience in terms of that fitness and smartphone capability together in one watch. Okay, so moving on to some of the design changes that have come with the Apple Watch Ultra. So obviously we've talked about the size, so let's move on to some of the other things that have come with this. So firstly, we've got this raised, it's now raised, I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it's raised here where you've got the digital crown and the button, whereas previously it was a bit more flat. I quite like that. I'm not sure what the purpose is, to be quite honest. It doesn't really make too much of a difference, but it has a nice aesthetic look to it. The other thing that is new is the action button on the side. So this is a really nice addition. I like the action button. You can configure it to a number of different things if you like to. You just go into the watch app on your phone and you can configure it. I personally have configured it to workouts because that's the thing that I'm most frequently looking to do quickly when I'm, for instance, in the morning on the school run while we're rushing out the house. It's quite nice just to be able to press the side button and then quickly start my workout. The number of times that I've forgotten or not being able to do it quick enough because I've got bags everywhere and things like that. So this is just something that helps my workflow, well, not even workflow, but it just helps speed up that. So it's a really nice addition. The other thing is a little bit on the display again. So we now have a flat display, which I really, really like compared to that slightly curved. We still have some curve kind of underneath the display. I think it gives it a really nice look. So in general, the aesthetics, I prefer this to the Series 7. I think this is a really nice looking watch. And especially, like I've said before, if you like a big screen, I think you'll really like the way that this looks. I originally bought this watch. I bought it with the Ocean strap, which is this one, which is a really nice strap. It's really durable. It is comfortable, and I think this is more the strap that I will use when I'm, say, going into the office or going somewhere that's a little bit more fancy. I do also have a Nomad watch strap as well, which is this lovely stainless steel watch strap. I'll link to the description below with these watch straps, because if you're looking for something that's not quite as pricey as the Apple Watch, these are really good ones to go for and really, really good quality. But back to the watch strap that I'm wearing at the moment, I've gone for the Trail Loop. So I've only just got this, but it's really nice, it's really thin and really comfortable to wear. So I got this because I do eventually want to start going running and actually doing some exercise, which I haven't done for a while. And I wanted something that was a little bit more in kin with a sports kind of strap. So I've gone for this particular one. It has this little orange thing, which is quite cool. But yeah, it's really comfy. There's also the other watch strap, I think the Alpine Loop. I did look at it when I went to look at the watch, but I wasn't really keen on that. It was a bit fiddly to get it in with the little hooky thing, so that's why I went for the Ocean Band. I think the Ocean Band or the Trail Band, you can't really go wrong. I can't really give you an opinion on the Alpine because I haven't tried it. I might do in the future, but they're not exactly cheap bands, so I'm not going to rush out to particularly buy that. And like I said, Nomad do some really good bands, so if you're looking for a good watch strap, whether it be for the Ultra or for any of your other Apple Watches, they do a great line and I do recommend, so check out in the description below. Okay, so I'm just going to touch on a couple of the other features that you generally get across all of the Apple Watch. So the sleep tracking. I have been using the sleep tracking on the Ultra. Like I've said previously, it's a comfortable watch. I was expecting it to be more uncomfortable when wearing it in bed. I thought it might be, distract me or wake me up or be too heavy, but actually I've not found that to be the case, and it's quite easy to wear for sleep tracking. I think the Alpine Loop is a bit more comfortable than the Ocean Band, so there's that. But this is a really good sleep tracker, and with the new Watch OS 9 you get that more in-depth sleep tracking with your watch, so it will give you your sleep stages, so when you've been awake, when you're in REM, when you're in deep sleep, and so on, so you get all of that functionality. The other things that I've found with this is the workouts. So with the bigger screen, like I've said before, you can actually see more information on your watch, so that's quite useful. So I'm looking to do a little bit more in terms of running and understanding the heart zones, and training zones. So as I do that, I'll look to come back to you guys maybe in another video around how I use it for exercise and where I find it beneficial over the Series 7. So those are the main things that are generally the notifications, brilliant on there. With the drop down now, drop down the right word, but obviously with the new iOS 7, that's quite nice with the notifications. Nice, big and clear, as I've said before, so really good on that point as well. I've actually only just managed to get my data sorted on the Ultra, so I'm looking to start using it a little bit more without my phone. So again, once I start out running, hopefully I'll be able to just take my watch and leave my phone at home. But again, I'll let you know how that goes. But in general, my conclusion on this watch is it's a really nice watch. It does all the watch things that you want to do, and more. I haven't touched on some of the features that Apple sold this watch to in terms of audience. So I'm not an adventurer, I'm not a diver. I use this as my everyday smartwatch. Now, is it a bit pricey for that? Yes, probably. Do I want to see more for my money for £849? Probably, maybe a bit longer battery life, but there is some things coming down the line, like a new low power mode, which will hopefully help that extend that battery life to, I think, 60 hours. So we'll see how that goes. But it's, if you're an Apple fan, I think you will spend the money. I don't think necessarily that this watch is primarily for adventurers. I think they've marketed it well, but I also think that the everyday user of a standard Apple Watch user would still be really interested in this watch. I think the only thing that does put people off is that price. Could it be lower? Yeah, probably. Can you get watches that do maybe the same or a little less under? Yeah, I mean, Samsung's Galaxy Pro 5 I think is about £200 to £300 cheaper, and does quite a lot of the same things and does have a longer battery life. But Apple are always going to price it what they price at. So if you're an Apple fan or you're looking for a good smartwatch and fitness watch, then I would certainly recommend this. So if you've liked this video today, if you can click on the like, and also if you haven't already, maybe drop me a subscribe and maybe ding that notification bell, so next time a video comes out you'll be able to see that. But yeah, that's my review, or shall I say my first impressions of the Apple Watch Ultra. So I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to catch you in the next one.